The stars never ask permission to shine. They burn, regardless of who's blinded by the light. They thought they could dim you, that if they whispered just loud enough or threw enough shade, you'd shrink, disappear, maybe even break. But what they didn't realize is, when you're chosen, it's not you they're fighting. It's the force that chose you. And that force doesn't play fair. It doesn't forget. It responds. If you've made it this far, stop what you're doing. Like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell. Why? Because every time a chosen one finds this message, it signals to the universe and to YouTube that we're waking up. And once we're connected, nothing can stop what's coming next. This isn't just content. It's a calling. What started as a joke, a little envy here, a little gossip there, has now become a full-blown war zone. The ones who used to cheer for you, look again. Their claps turned into clenched fists, their praise into silence. Some of them still smile in your face, but behind the scenes, they're praying you fall. Or worse, trying to push you off the edge themselves. But here's the truth. They never had a problem with you. They had a problem with your energy, with your alignment, with the way the universe moved things, people, opportunities, even protection, just to keep you standing. And the craziest part? You still thought you were alone. You dared to think your light was just a flicker. You questioned your path, wondering if maybe they were right, if maybe you were the problem. But nah. The only problem was that the universe whispered your name when no one else saw your worth. It picked you, pulled you out, marked you. And when the universe chooses, it doesn't explain. It doesn't wait for votes. It doesn't need approval. They don't understand that your rise is not ego. It's evidence. Evidence that some people are built different, wired with a spirit that doesn't break, a soul that doesn't flinch, a presence that makes the wrong people nervous. Why? Because your light reminds them of what they buried in themselves. You became the mirror, and mirrors don't lie. Now they call it arrogance when you speak confidently. They say you're too much when you finally set boundaries. They label you the villain just because you stopped letting them play in your face. But every attack they send your way boomerangs. Because you're not standing alone, you're standing backed by forces they can't comprehend. You were chosen, not for comfort, but for chaos, for the kind of transformation that shakes foundations. And the people who once walked with you, some had to fall off, not because you're better, but because you outgrew the role they wanted you to play. This is the part where everything turns, where silence gets loud, where enemies start slipping on the very traps they set for you. And guess what? You don't have to lift a finger. When you're chosen, the universe is petty on your behalf. It handles the ones who thought you were easy prey. So to the ones watching, waiting for you to fall, be careful. You're not dealing with a person. You're dealing with purpose. And purpose doesn't miss. You weren't made to blend in. You were built to shake the room. So stop shrinking. Stop second-guessing. The pressure you feel, that's just your next level knocking. Stand up, speak up, and remember, they're not mad at you. They're mad the universe won't stop blessing you. Let them be mad. You've got work to do. Before we go any further, if you're really one of the chosen, prove it. Drop the number 11 in the comments if you've felt that shift. The moment when love turned to side eyes, when support turned into silence. If your very presence started splitting crowds and breaking fake alliances, you know what this is. You didn't cause the chaos, but your energy exposed it. The jump was never about fists. It was about fear. Fear of your rise. Fear of your light. So if you're still here, lean in, because what's coming next, only the real ones will be able to handle it. Let's begin. Number 1. When the tables turn, some chairs break. You didn't break the system, you exposed it, and now it's panicking. They thought this was going to be easy. A takedown, a clean sweep. Like if they circled around you tight enough, talked loud enough, pointed fingers fast enough, you'd collapse under the weight of the noise. But here's what they never understood. Chosen ones don't fall like regular people. We fall up, we rise through, and when we rise, it's not just us getting up, it's the entire universe standing with us. They sat at tables plotting your fall, not realizing that the universe was listening, that every whispered lie, every fake smile, every move made in secret was being recorded by something bigger than all of them combined. They weren't just playing with your name, they were playing with alignment, with universal law, and that doesn't go unpunished. They once stood united, a little army of pretenders, their bond fueled by hate, their mission simple: paint you as the threat, the problem, the one who didn't belong. They shared stories and screenshots, misquoted you, twisted your truth until it became unrecognizable. You became the villain in a story you never even wrote. But here's the part they didn't expect, the plot twist they never saw coming. The universe doesn't sit back when one of its chosen is under attack. It watches, it waits, then it strikes. See, they didn't know that being chosen isn't about titles or clout. It's about purpose. And purpose always protects its carrier. You can't destroy what's divinely designed. You can hate on it. You can try to delay it. But you can't stop it. Let this sink in. They didn't just come for you. They picked a fight with something eternal. Something rooted in truth, in order, in balance. And when people try to manipulate energy that doesn't belong to them, the fallout is brutal. Because now, the same circle that once laughed together, it's cracking, turning on each other. Why? Because the energy they summoned can't be controlled. It backfired. And now, someone's about to get jumped. Their alliances were built on ego, not authenticity. And ego can't hold a group together for long. When there's no love, no truth, no real unity, things fall apart, fast. And you, chosen one, don't even think about feeling bad for them. You gave chances. You stayed silent when you could have exposed everything. You took the high road when the low one would have been easier. You kept peace in rooms that were built to explode. But no more. You're not in hiding anymore. This is your rise. Now let's address something real. Maybe you doubted yourself. Maybe you looked around and wondered, am I really chosen? If I was, why does it hurt so much? Why do I feel so alone? But that pain, that isolation, that was proof. The universe isolates before it elevates. You weren't being punished. You were being positioned. You had to be pulled away from the noise so you could hear yourself again, so you could hear the truth. You are not crazy. You are not weak. You are not the villain. You were the threat because you were the truth. And truth is dangerous to people who build their lives on lies. Listen closely. The universe didn't choose you because you're perfect. It chose you because you're aligned. because you carry something pure in a world that profits off fake, because your very existence challenges the comfortable illusions they built around themselves. That's why they attacked, not because you did something wrong, but because you existed too loudly, too freely, too real. And that kind of authenticity, it scares people who are still wearing masks. Now they're breaking. Not because you touched them, but because you didn't flinch when they tried to break you. The way you stayed silent, moved smart, healed in private. That's what's haunting them now. That's what's flipping the tables. They underestimated the power of restraint, of not clapping back, of letting the universe handle what your hands didn't need to touch. And now, the very energy they summoned against you is eating them from the inside. They're arguing, backstabbing, exposing each other without even realizing it. Because when you're chosen, your enemies can't agree on how to defeat you, because they were never aligned to begin with. Let's be clear about something. You are not here for revenge. You are not here for petty payback. You are here to witness, to watch the universe set things right. Your only job: keep glowing, keep growing, keep rising. But don't forget this. The very moment you thought you were alone, the universe was moving mountains for you. Conversations were being had in rooms you hadn't entered yet. Doors were opening behind the scenes. And the people who laughed at your pain, they're about to choke on the silence that follows your success. Stop doubting the path. Stop questioning your light. It was never about being liked. It was about being aligned. So next time you feel that ache in your chest, that loneliness that creeps in, that urge to go back and explain yourself, don't. The people who turned on you were never your people. They were just part of the lesson, not the destination. Chosen ones don't explain, they evolve. And while they're busy watching you, waiting for a slip-up, you keep building, keep walking with your head high, because now they see it. The glow they tried to bury, the strength they tried to break, the force they never understood until it was too late. They tried to play chess with the universe and forgot. The universe built the board. So let the tables turn, let the chairs break, let the masks fall. You're not in the storm anymore. You are the storm. Number 2. When the masks crack, truth starts leaking. They thought the game was over once they pushed you out. That silence meant surrender, that your absence was a win. But what they didn't see coming was fracture from within. You weren't the glue holding them together. You were the pressure that revealed their cracks. And now, everything they built on lies, gossip, and ego is starting to collapse in slow motion. The masks are slipping, and there's no rewinding it. The same people who high-fived each other after tearing your name down are now side-eyeing each other in the dark. Paranoia is a parasite, and it's eating away at every fake alliance they once celebrated. They're not sure who to trust anymore, not because you did anything, but because they did. Because betrayal breeds more betrayal. That's the curse of turning on someone who never wronged you. The guilt starts to rot the whole foundation. Now they're looking at each other like enemies. Who was the one that started the rumor? Who twisted the truth just enough to light the fire? Who went behind the scenes, pretending to hate you publicly, but secretly admiring you when no one was watching? Questions are spreading like wildfire, and the silence is loud. They don't talk the same. They don't laugh the same. Their energy shifted. You can feel it from a distance. They got what they wanted. your name dragged, your presence removed. But peace never followed. Because the peace wasn't broken by you. It was never about you. It was about the lies they told themselves just to feel important in your shadow. See, you weren't their enemy. You were their mirror. And that's what made you dangerous. Every time you walked into a room, your light exposed what they tried to hide. Their envy, their insecurity, their desperation to be seen, to be validated, to feel like they mattered, but only by tearing someone else down. You made them uncomfortable without trying. You reminded them of the work they refused to do, of the power they gave up chasing the crowd. And now that you're no longer the target, they have nothing left to throw their hate at, so they turn on each other, because the darkness needs a host, and without someone else to attack, they're forced to look inward. They don't like what they see. They see the roles they played, the lies they told, the fake apologies they rehearsed in private, just in case things ever came to light. But light doesn't wait for permission. It shows up, it exposes. And you were the flashlight in the room they wanted to keep dark forever. Now, their truths are leaking. Their secrets are backfiring. The ones who acted like leaders are being questioned. The ones who stayed silent are being accused. And no one knows who to trust. The community they once weaponized is now unraveling thread by thread, because the core of it was never unity. It was never loyalty. It was hate in disguise. And hate can't hold anything together for long. Here's the part they'll never admit out loud. They miss you, not because they loved you, but because without you, the mask had no purpose. You gave their ego something to perform against. Now, the stage is empty. The applause is gone. The audience scattered. And all that's left are whispers of a war that no longer feeds them. But don't you dare come back to fix what they broke. Don't you dare water a garden that tried to bury you like a seed, thinking you'd stay underground. You sprouted without them. You grew without their support. You glowed even when no one was clapping, because you weren't built on attention. You were built on alignment. And now, as their world unravels, remember this. They lost the moment they turned on truth. They lost when they traded authenticity for acceptance. When they sold out their own peace just to play a role in a script they didn't even write. You were the truth. You were the test. And they failed loudly. So let them crumble. Let the chaos eat them alive. You're not their enemy. You never were. You were the light that forced them to look at themselves. And now, the mirror's cracked, and there's no turning back. Number 3. When the glue was hate, the break was inevitable. They were never a real squad, never a true tribe, just a group of shadows orbiting the same flame of hate, you. Their loyalty was never to each other, it was to the drama, to the whispers, to the chance to be seen as part of something, even if that something was rotten at its core. You were the thread they wove their fake unity around, the common enemy, the reason they locked arms in public while side-eyeing each other in private. But now that you've removed yourself from the chaos, that thread has snapped. And with it, so did their illusion. Everything they pretended to be, family, community, team, is caving in like a house built on sand. Because the truth is, they never liked each other. Not really. They just found comfort in being against you. Your name gave them purpose. Your downfall was their rally cry. But once that mission failed, once you didn't fall, once you didn't react, Once you rose in silence, there was nothing left to unify them. And without you at the center of their hatred, they were forced to face the empty bonds between them. Now, it's a war zone behind the curtain. The ones who called each other sister and brother are now side-charging each other with fake receipts and passive-aggressive posts. The very same manipulation tactics they used on you, now they're using it on each other. Smiling while they set traps, laughing while they twist knives. And the most poetic part? Every single move they're making now was taught to them by their own hatred. The game they created turned on its creators. They crafted their identities around lies, around being better than you, around fake virtue, around pretending they were a unit while secretly eyeing each other's position. But illusions don't hold under pressure. And now the pressure is on. Now that you're gone, the spotlight's turned inward, and it's not flattering. The manipulators are manipulating each other. The liars are calling each other out for lying. The energy they once projected onto you has boomeranged straight back into their own circle. And because none of it was real, there's no foundation to catch the fall. The collapse is loud, messy, public, desperate. They built their tower with stolen bricks, stories that weren't true, roles that weren't earned, alliances that were never genuine. And now, every level is crumbling under the weight of its own fraud. It's the karma of false unity. When the common target is gone, the masks come off, and the wolves turn on each other. And you're watching it unfold without lifting a finger. You don't have to throw shade. The sun's already exposing everything. You don't have to clap back. The echoes of their own deception are doing the work for you. Because when you're chosen, your enemies eventually destroy themselves. Not with fire from you, but with the same fire they used trying to burn you. What they forgot is this: real unity is built on truth, on respect, on something sacred. You can't fake that. You can't pretend it into existence. And when you try, it collapses every single time. They lost focus. They became so obsessed with dimming your light, they didn't realize their own circle was growing darker. So while they spent their energy scheming, you spent yours evolving. They were talking, you were working. They were watching, you were becoming. And now, you're elevated, you're glowing. You're no longer in the same atmosphere they once tried to drag you through. Meanwhile, their community has split into factions, mini echo chambers of ego, bitterness, and paranoia. It's like watching a crumbling empire where every soldier thinks they should be king, and nobody trusts anyone because none of them were ever real in the first place. Let this be a reminder: hate is a terrible glue. It doesn't last. It doesn't bond. It just sticks long enough to do damage, then dissolves, leaving everyone broken. They thought they could build a kingdom on your name. Now they can't even speak it without choking on regret. You were the center without even trying. And now, with you gone, their fake empire is fading fast. Because you weren't just a target, you were the light they pretended not to need. Let them fall. Let them fight. Let them feel the emptiness they tried to hand to you. Because at the end of the day, the collapse isn't your fault. It's the cost of building unity on hate. Number 4. When the target disappears, the daggers turn inward. You were the distraction, the decoy, the scapegoat they all agreed to hate so they wouldn't have to face each other or themselves. But now that you've stepped away, refused to play the villain in their poorly written drama, Something wild is happening. The script is falling apart. The actors are off cue. And suddenly, everyone's watching their backs. Because when there's no one left to attack, they turn on each other. It started subtly. A strange silence, a missed text, a weird vibe that didn't used to be there. But now, the energy has shifted completely. Cold stares, short answers, secret alliances forming in the background. It's no longer us versus you. It's me versus whoever blinks first. The same people who once laughed together at your pain, stood side by side in their little echo chamber of gossip, are now side-eyeing each other with suspicion. Why? Because the trust was never real. It was just a shared thirst for your downfall. And once that thirst dried up, all that remained was paranoia. They wanted chaos, and now they're drowning in it. What happens when the bond was never built on love, loyalty, or truth? It collapses under pressure, and that's what you're witnessing now. A slow implosion, not because you retaliated, but because you removed yourself. Because you let them burn their own bridge without lifting a finger. See, when people gather in darkness, they need a light to blame. You were that light, too bright, too real, too chosen. And while they pretended to be united in purpose, the reality is they were all just waiting for their own moment to rise. Their own shot at power. The fake loyalty was always just temporary survival. Now the whispers are louder than the laughter ever was. Did you hear what she said about you? He was never really with us. She's been texting the ops the whole time. Watch your back. It's all unraveling. The betrayal is no longer subtle. It's leaking. Secrets are slipping from lips that once vowed to stay silent. Stories are surfacing. Screenshots are being passed around. Fake alliances are being exposed for exactly what they were. Just fear wearing a friendly face. And someone, somewhere in their little circle of control and chaos, spilled too much truth. Maybe it was intentional. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe someone finally saw through the fog and realized they were part of something sick. Either way, the result is the same. Panic. Now everyone's on edge. The ones who once stood shoulder to shoulder are glancing over those very shoulders, wondering who's about to strike first. It's not about you anymore. You're not even in the equation. This is about survival. They're not fighting you. They're fighting to keep their reputations intact, their lies hidden, their fake status alive. But it's too late. The damage is done. The rot has reached the roots. And the irony. They did this to themselves. You didn't have to clap back. You didn't have to expose anyone. All you had to do was leave. And when you did, the mask started melting. Because you were the glue holding their performance together. The one thing they all agreed to hate so they could avoid hating themselves or each other. But now the stage is empty. And the actors are turning on each other in real time. Watching, waiting, plotting, crumbling. There's no honor among snakes, no loyalty in circles built on envy. And when the light is gone, darkness starts fighting itself. So, let them. Let them destroy what they tried to build with your name. Let them drown in the chaos they tried to hand to you. Let them wonder who's next to betray, to spill, to crumble. You're no longer in the fire. They are the fire. And now they're finally starting to feel the heat. Number 5. The lies are louder now, and someone just slipped. What was once a tight-knit circle now feels like a ticking time bomb, every second louder, every heartbeat heavier. These weren't just friendships, these were alliances built for war. They laughed together, whispered in corners together, moved like a single shadow. But now, that shadow is fractured. The loyalty that once bound them is bleeding out beneath the weight of secrets. The fall didn't start with a scream. It started with a whisper, a conversation that went a little too far, a side comment that landed in the wrong ears, a look that lingered a second too long. And just like that, the cracks began to show. Because the truth, they never trusted each other. Not really. They bonded over hate, not honor. And hate doesn't hold when fear sets in. Now, best friends are turning into sworn enemies. Confidants have become competitors. Every room is a battlefield, every conversation a trap. The same ones who stood together against you. They're now meeting behind closed doors, cutting secret deals, preparing to sacrifice each other just to save themselves. They can feel it. Something's coming. The energy shifted. The room is colder now, heavier. Office. They don't know when it will happen or how, but they know it's close. And none of them want to be the one that takes the hit. So now, it's every snake for themselves. Old alliances are cracking like glass. Whispers are flying like knives. New friendships are forming, not out of loyalty, but out of strategy. The shift is so loud, you can hear it in the silence between them. They once thought they were untouchable, that their lies were too buried, their stories too tightly controlled, that nobody would ever connect the dots. But now, the paranoia has set in, and it's brutal. Every smile feels fake. Every "you good" sounds like a setup. Eyes are watching from all angles. The same walls they used to whisper behind are now echoing their secrets louder than ever before. And in the back of their minds, the questions are creeping in. Did she hear what I said? Does he know what I did? Who's about to sell me out? It's a psychological war now. They're playing chess with each other in real time, bluffing, folding, pretending to be fine while quietly prepping for betrayal. The fear is eating them alive because they know what they did. They remember the lies they told, the dirt they helped spread, the plans they made behind your back. And now that same energy is knocking on their door. Every day, the tension gets thicker. Every text left on read feels like a death sentence. Every shift in tone feels like the beginning of an ending. And just when they think they can keep the act going, it happens. One falls. One of them gets exposed. Maybe it's a message leaked, a voice note forwarded, a confrontation caught on camera. Whatever it is, it's loud. There's no denying it, no explaining it away. The mask drops, and the fall is ugly. Panic ripples through the circle like a virus. If one person cracked, who's next? Who's still holding secrets? Who's already talking to someone outside the circle? Suddenly, it's not about damage control. It's about self-preservation. Now, they're scrambling, cutting ties, ghosting each other, shifting blame, rewriting history in real time. They don't care about loyalty anymore. They just want to be the one who escapes the fallout. But there is no escape. Because once the fall begins, the rest is inevitable. These aren't isolated incidents. This is a chain reaction. What they built on manipulation and ego is collapsing with them inside it. And the most ironic part? They thought they were safe because they had numbers, but numbers don't matter when no one's honest. When everyone's lying, nobody knows who to trust. And when everyone's scared, someone always slips first. So now, the game they played so proudly, the one where your name was the target, is playing them, one by one. And you're just watching it unfold. No revenge, no payback, just presence. Because when you're chosen, the universe doesn't need your hands to fight your battles. It lets the guilty bury themselves with the same shovel they once tried to hand to you. Number 6. The match that burned the whole room. Every storm has a trigger, every collapse a crack, and betrayal. It always begins with one. Not the loudest, not the boldest. No, it's usually the one you least expect. The quiet one in the back. The one who nodded along, laughed at the right moments, played both sides just well enough to blend in. But when the walls started closing in and the heat got too real, they panicked. Maybe they were scared. Maybe they felt cornered. Maybe they saw the fall coming and thought, let me flip the script before it flips me. Whatever the reason, the outcome is the same. Someone talked. And when they did, it wasn't a whisper. It was a confession with consequences. They spilled everything. Conversations that were supposed to stay locked inside four walls, exposed. Screenshots, names, voice notes. Nothing was safe. They didn't just speak, they unloaded. Not to clear their conscience, but to save their skin. They threw names into the fire like sacrifices, hoping the flames would spare them. But here's the catch with betrayal. It doesn't save you. It marks you. Because once someone breaks the silence, the entire structure starts shaking. Trust, already thin, snaps. Paranoia floods every corner. Everyone looks at each other with new eyes. Were you talking too? Did you know this was coming? Are you next? The air gets toxic. The temperature drops. Loyalty becomes a myth. Now it's war. And not the kind with shouting matches and online drama. This is colder, sharper, strategic, silent knives, shadow moves. Every person for themselves. The circle they built to come for you. It's eating itself now. The energy they used to tear you down is now tearing them apart. Because they never had real unity. They had shared targets. And when the target disappeared, their alliance lost purpose. You were the glue, and they didn't even realize it. Now, they're trying to plug leaks in a ship that's already underwater. They're patching holes with lies, scrambling for explanations, rewriting stories in real time. But it's too late. The betrayal wasn't a slow leak. It was a grenade. One person panicked and detonated everything. And the irony, the one who talked thought they were being clever, strategic, that throwing others under the bus would buy them time, favor, safety. But what they really did was shine a spotlight on the entire circle. Because once one person starts talking, everyone becomes a suspect. Now they're all being watched. They used to say, "We're family." Now they say, "Who's next?" Nobody is sleeping well. Nobody is trusting fully. Every message is read 3 times before it's sent. Every interaction feels like a trap. They smile, but their eyes scan the room. They agree, but their backs are braced. Because now the game has changed. It's not about loyalty anymore. It's about survival. They've turned on each other fully, and it's only getting worse. Private messages are being forwarded. Secret group chats are being exposed. past conversations are being used like weapons. Everyone's building their defense case. Everyone's talking to someone behind someone else's back. It's chaos disguised as strategy. And you don't even have to say a word, because this isn't your fight. You're just the reason the truth couldn't hide anymore. You were the pressure that revealed their cracks, the presence that exposed their performance. You were the trigger, not because you did anything, but because you existed, because your light was too pure, too undeniable. And people who live in shadows can't stand that kind of exposure. So now, let it burn. Let the betrayal play out exactly as it was destined to. Let them watch their false empire turn to ash. The very person who betrayed you first is now getting a taste of betrayal from within. That's karma. That's balance. That's the universe correcting what was crooked. This was never just a fallout. It's a reckoning. They lit the fire to burn you out of the picture, but instead they set their whole house on fire. And now they're all stuck inside, pointing fingers as the walls cave in. That's the cost of fake unity. That's the price of disloyalty. One match, one mouth, one moment of betrayal, and everything burns. Number 7. The storm they called is finally here. At first, some of them still tried to keep the mask on, tried to smile like nothing was falling apart, kept posting like the circle was still solid, like the cracks weren't growing deeper with every passing hour. But you can only hold up a facade for so long when the walls are collapsing in real time. It's too late now. The damage is done, and it's irreversible. What started as whispers has become war cries. The very people who led the charge to bring you down are now running from the mess they made. No longer celebrated, no longer protected. They're being hunted within the very group they thought they controlled. Because once betrayal enters the room, it never leaves quietly. It eats, it infects, and now it's infected everything. Their so-called unity was never made of trust. It was made of shared delusion, and that illusion shattered. The truth is floating in the air like thick smoke, hard to ignore, impossible to breathe. Nobody knows who to trust. Nobody knows who's already flipped. Everyone's watching their back, checking their phone, replaying conversations, wondering what they said, who they said it to, and how far it's traveled. The fallout is full-scale, loud, ruthless, and getting uglier by the second. You can feel the tension before you even see it. It's in the body language, the sudden silences, the fake "we good" messages that carry desperation instead of peace. Behind the scenes, alliances are shifting faster than they can keep track. People are flipping sides. Snakes are shedding old skins, pretending to be clean. But the venom is still in their fangs. And above all of it, one thing hangs in the air like a storm cloud ready to split. Someone is about to get jumped. Not always in fists, but the attack is coming. It might be physical, might be digital, might be spiritual. Doesn't matter. The energy is the same. Someone has to pay for what happened. The group needs a sacrifice, a scapegoat, someone to blame so they can pretend the problem isn't all of them. Maybe it's the one who ran their mouth too much, thinking they were untouchable. Maybe it's the one who got caught lying, finally exposed for twisting truths in every direction. Maybe it's the one who stirred the pot the hardest, only to realize they were never as protected as they thought. They were just the most expendable. And when it happens, the shift will be brutal. They'll act shocked, say they didn't see it coming, but deep down, Everyone feels it. Everyone knows who's vulnerable, who's next, who the circle will cannibalize just to delay their own collapse. This isn't about justice. This is about fear. They're scrambling to maintain power in a structure that's already caved in. They think if they throw one person to the wolves, they'll be spared. But the wolves are starving now, and they remember every lie, every manipulation, every role everyone played. No one is innocent, no one is clean, and no one is safe. You, though, you're untouched and unbothered, watching from the outside like someone who escaped the fire and now hears it crackling behind them. You didn't have to raise your voice. You didn't have to plot your revenge. The universe is handling all of it for you. This is what happens when people build power on false ground, when they craft kingdoms from gossip and ego, when they chase clout by crucifying truth. Eventually, it always turns on them, and now it has. Their downfall is a domino effect. One falls, and the rest panic. One secret leaks, and 10 more pour out. One betrayal gets exposed, and suddenly everyone's confessing, not out of guilt, but out of fear that they'll be next. It's a race to save face in a system that has no more room for survival. And the irony? The ones who screamed the loudest are the ones falling the hardest. They called for chaos. Now, chaos is calling them by name. This is the consequence of trying to destroy what was divinely protected, of playing games with energy they never understood, of turning on someone chosen, thinking the universe would stay silent. But the universe was only waiting for the right moment. And now, that moment has arrived, and it's devouring everything. Number 8. When truth floods the room, only liars drown. They didn't think it would come to this. They thought the lies would hold, that if they kept the story tight, deleted a few messages, blocked the right people, and distanced themselves at just the right time, they'd escape clean. But truth doesn't vanish when you hit delete. It waits, it watches, and eventually it spills. And when it spills, it doesn't whisper, it roars. Now they're scrambling. Some are moving like ghosts, erasing digital fingerprints, unsending messages, clearing chats, wiping their phones like that'll wash the guilt off their hands. Others are rewriting the narrative completely, spinning new lies to cover the old ones, trying to slide into the background like they were never involved. But it's too late. Way too late. The truth is out. It's out and ravenous. And the first ones it devours are always the ones who thought they were safe. The ones who orchestrated the chaos, sat smug behind fake smiles, thinking no one would ever trace it back to them. Now, their names are in mouths. Their moves are being dissected. The spotlight they used to crave is now scorching them under its heat. And the real unraveling begins when the weakest link breaks. You know the one. The person who was always just a little quieter, always nodding along, but never leading the charge. Maybe they weren't the villain, but they knew what was happening. They laughed. They co-signed. They kept the secrets. But guilt is a heavy thing, and fear even heavier. So when the pressure gets too real, they talk, not a little, not vague hints, not cryptic posts, full confessions, full exposure, full truth. And when that dam breaks, it floods everything. Names, dates, screenshots, voice notes. The whole timeline of manipulation gets dumped into the light. And what happens next? Pure chaos. They start turning on each other immediately. People who once linked arms are now throwing each other under the bus so fast, it's like a sport. I didn't know she was doing that. He told me something different. I was just following orders. I was trying to protect myself. It's a feeding frenzy of desperation, because the moment one person breaks the silence, the rest realize how vulnerable they really are. The lies they stood on are now quicksand. The story they all agreed to is collapsing in real time, and no one wants to be the last liar standing. Panic sets in. You can see it in their behavior: sudden disappearances, apologies that sound rehearsed, posts full of passive guilt and fake peace. They're not sorry, they're scared. Scared of being exposed, scared of the fallout, scared that the people they once laughed with might now be the ones to sink them. And they should be scared, because the truth has momentum now. It's not coming out in pieces, it's pouring. And once the truth starts moving like this, there's no controlling where it lands, no telling who it hits next. What's wild is, all this could have been avoided. They could have minded their business, chosen peace, left you alone. But instead, they formed an alliance based on manipulation and ego, fueled by the idea that truth was something they could bend. They underestimated the power of energy, of alignment, of universal justice. Because when you're chosen, the universe doesn't just protect you, it exposes those who try to harm you, and it does it in the most poetic way, by letting them self-destruct. You never had to lift a finger. All you had to do was survive. And now they're crumbling. Not because you clapped back, but because the lies they told are collapsing under their own weight. The silence they demanded from each other is now breaking into screams. The panic is everywhere, in their rushed explanations, in their messy attempts to rewrite history, in the way they avoid eye contact when the truth walks into the room. You don't even have to say, "I told you so." The universe is saying it for you. So sit back, watch the house of cards fall in slow motion. Watch how quickly loyalty fades when truth comes knocking. Watch how exposed they feel now that the very lies they used to laugh about are unraveling them from the inside out. This is what happens when you build connections on deception. Eventually, one person breaks, and then the whole foundation crumbles, and the only thing left is the truth, loud, undeniable, and completely unforgiving. Number 9. The light exposes, the lies collapse, and karma collects. There was a time they held their heads high, grinning, loud, smug, acting like they'd won, like they really did something, laughing at your pain, celebrating your silence, thinking they had finally buried you under the weight of their lies. They walked around like they were untouchable, like the truth would never catch up. But it did, and it's moving faster than they ever expected. Now look at them, frantic, shouting over each other, pointing fingers at people they once called family. Every bond they swore was tight, gone. Every so-called alliance cracked and shattered into nothing. Because when exposure hits, it doesn't ask for permission. It pulls the curtain back, and suddenly the ones who led the witch hunt are being dragged into the fire they built. They're in damage control mode now, not because they care about truth, but because they care about survival. Reputations are slipping, screenshots are surfacing, eyes are turning inward, and no one knows who's really safe anymore. The chaos they once cheered for has made its way to their doorstep. Every accusation leads to another betrayal. Every attempt to hide the past only uncovers more of it. It's like watching dominoes fall. One lie knocks down the next, and the next, until everything they worked so hard to fabricate is just dust on the floor. And the worst part, the loudest ones, the ones who screamed the most about your flaws, are the first ones to crumble under pressure. They scream innocent, but their own people know the truth. They're being exposed not just by enemies, but by those they used to sit with. The ones who once rode for them, they're gone, either silent or switching sides entirely. Because when karma hits, it doesn't just punish, it isolates. And nothing is more terrifying to someone who thrives on control than being left alone in their own storm. And this is just the beginning. The real fall hasn't even happened yet. What you're seeing now is the unraveling, the slow leak before the full flood. It's the shaking before the collapse, and they feel it. You can see it in their eyes. The panic, the confusion, the realization that the same lies they used to tear you down are now circling back with receipts. Karma isn't loud, it's precise. And right now, it's making rounds. Every fake narrative they created, every name they slandered, every room they manipulated, it's all being returned to sender, tenfold. The smear campaign they launched against you, it's now their reality. Their every move is being watched, analyzed, judged, and not by you, but by the universe. See, when you're chosen, you don't have to clap back. You don't have to expose them. Life does that for you. The energy they put out, it finds its way home. They underestimated that. They thought if they moved in packs, if they shouted loud enough, if they rewrote the story enough times, people would believe it. But truth has a way of surviving the noise. And now that truth is screaming louder than any lie ever could. This is the cost of betrayal. Not just the betrayal of you, but the betrayal of their own spirit, their own integrity. They sold out for popularity. They traded truth for clout. And now everything they built on that fake foundation is sinking fast. They tried to play gods. Now they're praying no one brings their name up next. But the game is already over. The mask is off. The downfall has begun. And it's not being televised with pride. It's unraveling in real-time chaos. People are pulling away. Supporters are going silent. And the respect they once demanded, gone. And as all of this unfolds, you're not even touching it. You're not responding. You're just rising, quietly, confidently, watched by the same people who once laughed at the idea of your comeback. They thought they ended you, but in reality, they started their own ending. This is karma. This is alignment. This is the universe doing what it always does for the chosen, making sure the truth always outlasts the lie. And believe this, it's far from over. The exposure is just the spark, the downfall. That's the fire. And so, this is where it all leads. Their house of lies crumbling from the inside, their own people turning, and the truth ripping through every false bond they built. The storm they sent after you has returned home. And now, the reckoning is theirs to face. If you felt this, if your spirit knows this story all too well, you are not alone. Like, subscribe, and drop the number 77 in the comments if you're walking in your power now. Share this with another chosen one who needs the reminder. The light always exposes the lie. And your rise? It's only just begun.